Something quite extraordinary, quite possibly the most amazing wildlife sighting I've ever seen. I'm going to speak in a slightly robotic fashion on account of the fact that my heartbeat is still at about 210 beats per minute. I'm still trying to calm down, and if I allow myself, I will become entirely tongue-tied by what I've just seen. 3,000 or 4,000 wildebeest came streaming across this river. They chose this crossing point because there are no crocodiles here. They came up onto the bank, and then suddenly, out of the grass, came this lioness, the one that's starting to feed now. She tried 3 or 4 times. She hit one wildebeest. It got away from her, and the very last fellow to come up out of the river, she grabbed, pinned it against that termite mound, grabbed it by the throat, and she throttled the life out of it. Then 2 more came out of the woodlands over there, and down towards here, and you can see not very enthusiastically feeding. That's because they eat all the time, these lions. At this time of the year, between the end of July and often the end of October, there are wildebeest and zebra and Thompson's gazelles and eland leaping to and fro across this river all the time. They're moving through the grasslands. Some of them die of natural causes, some of them are young and easy to kill, but basically these lions are eating every day. And so they're not tearing into it like perhaps you might be used to the Nkahuma Pride doing. Now, we are completely live, in case you've just joined us. Hashtag Safari Live or questions at wildearth.tv if you want to talk to us. Also, on drive today, Jamie and Taylor down in the Sabi Sand of the iconic Kruger National Park in South Africa. An entirely different landscape, equally wonderful, very different, and they'll be explaining and showing you some of the regular characters that we have there. These two, not regular characters on Safari Live. We don't know who they are, we don't know where they've come from, and that is the great joy of exploring a new area here. We'll tell you a little bit about the lions and the plan for the day after we've appreciated what we've just witnessed. I hope some of you were able to join us on 1 or 2 of our Facebook Live broadcasts just before we went live and were able to see what we just witnessed. We certainly managed to get onto Facebook, thankfully. It was on Magical Kenya's Facebook Live page and also Barcroft TV's.
She's up.
There we go, she's moving a little bit now. Now what we came to do here, everybody, was film the migration story, to see if we could do a story of the migration, which of course is a timeless story of the wildebeest, the zebra, the Tommies, that's the Thompson's gazelle, local parlance. You see I'm getting very experienced now after 5 days here, and the eland, and how they move in the great Mara Serengeti ecosystem. And we came to show the wildebeest crossing the Mara River, and we managed to do that today, thankfully, and we also came to follow some of the lions of this area. Our main lion characters, the Kichwa Tembo Pride, who we've been following for 3 nights now, they're off north of us, on the boundary into the conservancies. There are no fences around this area. They killed a very minute topi this morning, that's a little sesame, so they're still hungry, and we followed them all night last night, well, until about 11:30. They did, well, bar one of them, they did absolutely blow all. These lions are a lot more productive seemingly, but you can see she's not enthusiastically eating. She's pretty full already, and so I don't know how much eating she's actually going to do today. So later on, we're probably going to join the Kichwa Tembo Pride. We'll see if they hunt tonight, and we're also going to hopefully find another wildebeest crossing. It would be unusual for us to find yet another one, but you never know. There are lots of wildebeest massing the other side of the river, and it's quite possible that some of them will try and cross very shortly. And also, that's just an aeroplane going overhead, everyone. That is the best and most romantic way to come into the Mara, of course, not via the road that we arrived on. That is likely to knock the teeth out of your skull and fuse at least 6 or 7 vertebrae together. I can highly recommend coming to this area. We're staying at the most magnificent lodge in Africa. It's called Angama Mara, and flying in there is definitely a better option than driving. Yesterday, we opened the show with one of the most famous male lions. And, you know, people talk about big male lions, they talk about being amazed by them, they talk about, well, you know, I saw this big male lion. And I've become a bit jaded over the years. And then I saw this fellow yesterday. His name is Scarface. He's missing his right eye and his right eyelid. He's been stabbed by a Maasai warrior. He survived that. He survived whatever caused him to lose his eye. He's been darted by vets and stitched together every so often. And he is a tough, enormous, massive, black-maned male lion, the most impressive male lion I've seen by a country mile. We saw him yesterday. He's around here somewhere. With any luck, he'll pop out of the bushes and maybe come and share on this kill. Who knows? Chandra, there's a starling over there. Do you want... Every time I point at the bird, Chandra shakes his head because there's so much else going on here. I made him film a rufous-bellied heron as the wildebeest were crossing. He wasn't very pleased with me at all. Hello, Shamel. You say, what an incredible start to the drive. Shamel, yes, absolutely. But I got to tell you, this place, you just turn sideways and something more astounding will assail your eyes. Your senses will be so filled you'll be unable to cope with what you're seeing. And as I've now started to become cliched about, it's a spiritual experience being here. It really is. It's an ancient land. This is where Homo sapiens, this is where our ancient ancestors first stood on 2 feet and walked across the plains to take advantage of the food that these lions now eat. And you really have to stand on the ground and inhale the air to appreciate the astounding magnificence of it. I'm going to look at that starling, Chandra. You don't have to. It looks like our Birchall starling, everybody. Now Chandra has to do it because I've explained it. It looks like our Birchall starling, but it's got a white eye. I don't know what it is. Many of you will be keeping a bird list of the birds that we see here. I'm just going to have a quick see if I can't find what it is. There we go. Gosh, there are about 70,000 starlings that you find here. I'm going to go with sharp-tailed. No, he's not a sharp-tailed. I'll keep looking. I will find him. Anybody else? Hashtag Safari Live, questions at wildearth.tv. If you know what he is, let us know. Could be a narrow-tailed starling, Chandra. No, it couldn't be. It looks like a Birchall's, absolutely. Unfortunately, it has a white eye. Thank you, Graham. Graham, of course, our resident ornithologist. It is called a Ruppel's long-tailed starling, is what it is. Ruppel's long-tailed starling. Dead wildebeest. 3 lions. Over to the left, 47 vehicles, and beyond them, about 4,000 wildebeest have just streamed across this river.